All right, for our room project, next you're making a bed. All right, it's going to look something like this, and there's going to be a little twist to it. All right, you are going to connect these legs in. All right, and so I'm going to have you design those as a separate file, which you can see at the top here. But what else is kind of cool that I'm excited about is you're going to learn a new joint. All right, so when we look at our room, we have the bed in there. But it's not just a normal bed. This is what we call a Murphy bed, which, if you're not familiar, those are beds used especially in like bigger cities where your apartment space is limited, that folds up into the wall. And yours will be able to do this by the end of it. You'll be able to right click on that joint and say animate joint, and it'll show you how it kind of works as a Murphy bed. So I'm going to escape. You press escape key to get out of that. But yeah, you can basically lift that whole thing, and yeah, it's kind of fun. All right, so let's get to making the bed. All right, to make the bed, I'll start a new file here. You're going to call this bed when you go to save it, okay? That's the first thing you should do is click Save, Bed, make sure it's inside your room project folder. So we'll start by creating a sketch, and we'll use this plane, and you're going to need to make a rectangle that is, we'll say, I think 10 inches by 40 inches. So I hit the tab key to get the other one, enter. There is the beginning of our frame. So from here, we're going to extrude this a distance of, I always like to go at an angle when I do anything 3D so I can see what I'm doing, 72 inches. That seems like a reasonable length for a bed. Yeah, all right. So we've got that, and actually we're going to save this as a new component. All right, so we're going to click OK, and we will name this component. Whoops, yeah, just click on there a couple times. You get, we'll call it bed frame. All right, enter. All right, and we're going to do some other things with this bed frame. I guess, yeah, we'll do the next part and then we'll change the material. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to create kind of the legs that are at this end that are going to let us make this easily a Murphy bed. So create another sketch, put it on this plane, 2-point rectangle, and yeah, we'll start right at that corner like I just did. We're going to make it a height of 7 inches. All right, and then this thing can only be 1 inch wide. All right, so hit enter. And then we're going to need to extrude this back. So finish sketch, but extrude it back 40 inches, right? That's the width of the bed. So click your profile you want to extrude, and then just type in there 40. All right, perfect. So we are basically done with the simple parts of the bed frame. We have this kind of weirder non-bed legs on the back because it's going to make that Murphy joint, the ability to do that with the Revolute, a little easier. We need to change the material. So we will change this. And, you know, a lot of bed frames traditionally are wood. So I chose like mahogany. All right. But you could pick some other material as you like, as long as it makes sense. It's not anything ridiculous. All right, so great. We've got the bed frame. Before we get to the leg, let's put the mattress on here. All right, so to do that, we'll create another sketch over here. So I'm going to right-click on this surface, and we'll say Create Sketch. And we want to do another 2-point rectangle. I'm just going to place that first corner somewhere along there. Yeah, I'm going to make it 10 inches tall. All right. And we will make this thing 38 inches across. It's a little smaller than our frame. So hit enter. All right. And before we do anything else with it and finish our sketch, let's project some geometry so we can use it from this line. And what we'll be able to do now, just say, okay, is come here and dimension this distance to be 1 inch. So it's nice and centered. Okay, so now it's perfectly centered. Say finish sketch. We're going to extrude this back the same distance, and that's going to be, let's see, think it was 72 inches, right? 72. But here's the deal. Before you click OK, we need to change this and make this a different component, all right? Because it is not mahogany, or it shouldn't be. So, and it's not the frame. So click New Component, and now we'll click OK. And we are going to call this component, let's see, oh, I did that wrong, the mattress. All right. Something you may know already, but if not, you're going to learn it, is filleting. All right. So we want this to look more like an inviting mattress. So we will fillet both this edge and that edge. And we're going to do that a radius of 2 inches. And like if I go to the front view, or maybe top front, you can kind of see what it's doing there, right? That seems more like an actual bed, like mattress anyway. So we'll click OK there. And then we're going to do the same thing, but for these edges, because they also look a little too sharp, right? So go to Fillet, click that edge, and then click this edge over here. And we're going to make that a 1 inch, because 2 inches just is like a little too much, right? Usually this end of the bed would look different, right? So we're just going to say 1. All right, and so now looks a little bit more like a bed. To really finish this off, we should change the appearance of this. I couldn't decide on what a good material would be for a mattress, because it's made out of many materials. There's components within it, right? So for our simplified stuff, let's just choose like a nice color. So powder coat white. The way I got to this, by the way, because I know it's not going to look the same for you, I went to change appearance in modify, right? So I'm in appearance, and then I went to the library, and I found the other folder, and in that folder I came to paint, and then powder coat smooth. I know that's kind of specific, but yeah, so one more time. Appearance, we've got library, other, paint, powder coat smooth, and then we're going to do white, and just drag it over to that component. All right, then you'll click OK on that thing, or close. And we have got, so far, our bed frame and mattress. Next video will be about the leg.